bicycle. Listen.
That literally sounded like someone coming down.
Take me back to old Yazoo. Everything up here is new. I can't stand it, just must land it.
Avery, a TikTok travel content creator known for documenting breathtaking destinations around the world, had a very different kind of experience while staying at an Airbnb deep in the forests of Costa Rica. What promised to be a peaceful night in nature quickly turned into a tense and unsettling encounter with something she couldn't explain. The Airbnb was surrounded by dense vegetation, nestled in a secluded area far from the bustling towns and cities. Avery had gone to bed expecting to wake up to the gentle sounds of birds or howler monkeys, typical of the region. Instead, sometime in the early hours of the morning, she was jolted awake by a deep noise through the forest. It wasn't subtle. It was loud, aggressive, and terrifying. Initially disoriented and unsure of what she was hearing, Avery began recording, trying to capture the bizarre sound. The noise wasn't constant, but when it did occur, it seemed to grow louder and closer each time. It resembled something between a roar and a growl, far too powerful to be a dog, and not at all like the calls of the monkeys often heard in Costa Rica.
This is the most terrifying sound I've ever heard. What the fuck is this noise? Listen. Listen. That is not an angry dog. What is that? It's been making that angry noise for an hour now. And it just gets closer and closer. What the fuck? It's like Godzilla is here. What is that? The chupacabra? I've got no sleep tonight. And I almost fell asleep. And then I started hearing that noise. And it's like right across the street. I'm so glad her place is fenced in, but what the?
As the sounds continued, they began to feel less like an animal and more like something primal, even otherworldly. She stepped outside for a better listen. The noise was heard through the trees, and she could feel it vibrating in the air. It seemed to be coming from the path that led to the nearby beach, a route she had planned to explore in the morning. But now, there was no way she was heading in that direction. Whatever it was sounded like it had the strength to tear through the jungle, and anything in its path. As the hours dragged on, the unsettling calls didn't let up. In fact, they started to sound alarmingly close, as if whatever it was had circled the property and was just outside the gate. Avery, terrified and unable to sleep, locked the doors and stayed inside, listening to the noises draw near. Every few minutes, she debated whether to call someone or try to document the sound more clearly, but fear held her still.
Yo, this noise is literally getting closer, as if it's like right outside the gate. Is that an angry gorilla? It's coming from right over there. That's the way you gotta walk to the beach. And I was gonna take a nice walk over there this morning to the beach. I'm not going over there now. Because what the fuck is that? It's fucking terrifying. Whatever can make that noise can probably rip my... But it's been making that noise. Oh my God. What is that?
Whether it could have been some strange wildlife, a gorilla-like creature, or even something cryptid in nature like the chupacabra, she didn't want to leap to supernatural conclusions. But the lack of a rational explanation left her deeply unsettled. When morning finally came, she skipped the beach walk entirely. Whatever had been out there remained a mystery. But one thing was certain. This was an experience that would stick with her for a long time. Before the next encounter, I'm proud to announce that we're about to hit 50,000 subscribers. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. To celebrate this huge milestone, I've made the 50K special surprise completely free. Just my way of giving back to every one of you who made this possible. It's not something huge, but it is something. To join in, just click the link in the description or head over to nightmarefeelings.com and drop your email. Once we cross 50,000, you'll be the first to know and can claim your exclusive surprise. And once again, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Now, back to the video. This camping footage comes from the Turkish YouTube channel 365 Gün Doğadayız, run by Taha and Dilara, a couple who have spent years exploring nature in their caravan. Known for their peaceful outdoor adventures across Turkey, this particular trip quickly became one of the most unsettling they've ever documented, as their night filled with fear, intense weather, and a mysterious creature lurking just outside their caravan. Taha and Dilara arrived at a quiet lakeside location shrouded in thick fog. They found a relatively flat patch of ground near the lake and decided it would make a good spot to park their caravan and set up camp. While the visibility was limited to around 100 meters, they carried on with their routine, setting up the cooking area, organizing gear, and preparing for a cozy evening in nature.
Bunlar ne delikleri?
Bence fare, köstebek.
Bak ama çok küçük. Şu kadar.
Yani
Köstebek
işte
daha büyük oluyor.
belki ufak köstebektir ya da faredir. Baksana buradan girmiş. Buradan çıkmış, buradan çıkmış, buradan çıkmış. Amacı ne acaba?
Throughout the day, the fog never lifted. Inside the caravan, they noted how much the temperature had dropped, despite running the heater. The air was still, and the dense fog made it impossible to see even a few meters beyond the caravan windows. But being seasoned campers, they shrugged it off and tried to enjoy the peaceful atmosphere, cooking dinner and sharing laughs. As the evening settled in, the couple noticed that their two loyal shepherd dogs, normally calm and alert, began to act strangely. Without warning, the dogs bolted toward the thick fog, barking aggressively into the void before retreating quickly, tails tucked. This happened more than once, and each time the dogs reacted as if they had seen something. Taha and Dilara were unnerved. Animals, especially dogs, don't typically panic without reason. Something was out there in the mist.
Aşkım. Aşkım çabuk karavana gir. Aşkım bir şey gördüler. Ne geldi acaba?
Bir şey gelmemiştir, ne geldi? Gelse önce köpekleri yer.
Çok korktum, bir daha dışarı asla çıkmayacağım.
Gerçekten mi? Ben çıkayım da eşyaları toplayayım o zaman.
Çıkma, ne olur çıkma.
Deli misin? Orada yanıyor. Arabanın
Aşkım
altında.
Allah çıkma.
Lan bir şey olmaz. Merak etme.
Neredesin? Kalbim sıkıştı.
Ama beni de panik yaptırıyorsun.
Aşkım panik yapılacak bir durum vardı çünkü.
Ya yok be ya.
Siste o kadar fazla ki hiçbir şey görünmüyor.
Not long after, both of them heard a series of low growls and distant rustling sounds, subtle but deliberate. What made it even worse was that they couldn't see anything through the fog. They tried peering out the window, using lights to cut through the haze, but visibility remained terrible. It felt like something, or someone, was watching them from the shadows.
Taha
Gör.
beni içim rahatlasın diye arabanın önüne getirdi. Işıkları açayım, etrafı gör dedi ama hiçbir şey gözükmüyor.
Gerçekten etrafta gözükmüyor.
İnanılmaz bir sis var.
Rüzgarla beraber de çok hızlı hareket ediyor sis. Bak. Sadece yukarıyı kapatayım. Bak aşağıdan giden sisi görüyor musun? Ne kadar hızlı.
Hiç gözükmüyor. Sildik aslında
Bak.
ama
Taha then discovered several piles of animal droppings just meters away from the caravan. These weren't from dogs or small animals. These were large, scattered in multiple locations, and filled with seed shells, likely bear scat. Dilara refused to step outside again. The thought that a bear had likely come that close while they were sitting just outside the caravan earlier that night was deeply disturbing, and the strange behavior of their dogs now made perfect sense. They had likely caught wind or sight of the animal before anyone else could. They immediately took precautions. Taha rushed to collect any remaining food or gear left outside while Dilara secured the doors and windows. The couple remained inside for the rest of the night, unable to sleep. Every small sound outside now carried weight. With adrenaline still coursing through their bodies, they waited, uncertain if the creature would return.
aşkım panik yapılacak bir durum vardı çünkü.
Ya yok be ya.
Siste o kadar fazla ki hiçbir şey görünmüyor. Gördün mü, köpekler önce bir şey görüp ona doğru gidip tekrar geri koştular görünce bir şeyi. Ne gördüler acaba? Ayı mıydı acaba?
Ya ne bileyim gülüm ya. Of. Bilsem ne olduğunu sana söylerdim. Gereksiz yere bizi geriyorsun. Tadımızı kaçırıyorsun.
Gerçekten gereksiz yere miydi?
Ya tamam ben de köpeğin kaçtığını gördüm de bir şey yok.
Morning came, and although the fog was still thick, the danger had seemingly passed. They cautiously stepped outside and scanned the campsite. The animal tracks were still visible, and more droppings had appeared further along the edge of their sight. They had no doubt about it now. A bear had been right outside their caravan during the night. The thick fog likely prevented the animal from seeing them, just as it kept them from seeing it. Although no harm was done, the psychological toll was immense. It was one of the most terrifying camping nights they had ever experienced. The unknown presence just beyond the fog and the dog's fear, it all culminated into a chilling memory they wouldn't soon forget. What did you make of this encounter? Let me know. This disturbing encounter comes from a rather unexpected source. It's from a YouTube channel called Latin Pianist, which is best known for its piano performances and tutorials centered around Latin music. But on August 5th, 2018, the channel uploaded something very different. In this brief clip, the camera captures a moose grazing peacefully in a forest clearing, surrounded by untouched wilderness. Everything about the scene feels calm, almost too calm, like the opening to a nature documentary. But it's what appears in the background that steals attention from the moose. As the camera is on the peaceful animal, a dark humanoid shape can be faintly seen shifting in the tree line. Tall, motionless at first, and then almost imperceptibly moving. The figure blends seamlessly into the shadows, to the point where you might miss it on the first watch. But once you notice it, it's hard to unsee. It's positioned just far enough away to stay vague, yet close enough to be deeply unsettling. The internet, of course, erupted with speculation. Some viewers believe it's a cryptid, maybe even a skinwalker, while others suggest it could simply be another animal obscured by the dense foliage. But there's something off about the shape and its posture. It doesn't move like a typical animal, and it never steps fully into view. Whatever it is, it's clearly watching. With no explanation from the uploader and the video ending shortly after the sighting, it leaves behind a sort of unease. A peaceful wildlife moment suddenly shadowed by something unknown and possibly dangerous. Suppose you captured this footage. Would you have noticed it? And more importantly, what would you have done? Let me know. In November 2023, a YouTuber known as Brothers Wild uploaded what might be his most terrifying solo wild camping experience yet. Known for his laid-back, realistic take on wild camping in the UK, Brothers Wild had done plenty of overnight adventures before, but this time, something felt different from the very beginning. He chose a remote riverside location with sloped terrain, tucked away from any paths or dog walkers. After finding what he called a cushy spot, he pitched his tent and got to work setting up camp. The wind had started picking up, but the area offered a decent amount of cover, and there was plenty of dead wood around for a fire. By the time the sun began to set, everything was in place. He stacked dry firewood inside the tent to protect it from the elements, and prepared a simple meal. With his fire going strong and a whiskey in hand, he was finally ready to relax.
The tent's up. That'll do, I think. Sun's going down just behind me here. Give you a quick 360 of the place. A lot of slopes to get up here, so it's very... I'll hear people coming up, which is great. Great little spot. So yeah, right, I'm going to start the foundations, try and find some rocks if I can. If not, we're digging a hole. Going to make a little fire here, get some firewood, stack it up ready for tonight, because it's going to be a windy, cold one. Start making the fire early, so make sure it's roaring. And then I'm going to get a whiskey. Right, just going to find some wood. It's better. Oh, I tell you what, it's really nice just lying here. I don't know about... I think I've only done like 6 miles, but literally it's with the mud going back on myself, going up and down here and round, it's been a nightmare. Enjoyable, but a nightmare on the body, especially because I'm carrying more stuff because I'm so close. I thought I'll bring a few more bits and bobs, so I'm going to enjoy this whiskey now. The sun's going to go down in about an hour. I'm going to dig a little thing. I got some wood ready.
Despite the peaceful start, things slowly began to feel off. While scouting for a camera shot, he noticed a strange fungus growing on a tree nearby. That alone wasn't too strange, so he brushed it off and focused on enjoying the moment. At one point, while eating, he distinctly heard something moving around him. The sound was clear, Someone or something was slipping or walking nearby. He scanned the woods, but couldn't see anything. But as darkness fell, the mood shifted. The wind grew stronger, whipping around his tent at 50 to 60 miles per hour. As he tried to shrug off the earlier incident, reassuring himself it was just his imagination or the wind playing tricks.
Fair enough. Each their own. It's up to you if you spend your money on this. But I don't need to spend hundreds and thousands of pounds to do this. That was weird. That literally sounded like someone coming down. Hundreds and thousands of pounds to do this. That scared me, actually. Hello? It sounded like someone's slipping down here. Oof. Even though I can see like 360 where I am, everything. A bit eerie with this weather. I don't know if it's the autumn vibe and I see the leaves everywhere, but yeah. I've got a bit of blockage from the wind, not too bad. These trees, they're waving everywhere, so I'm gonna have to look out for these trees. Don't want no falling trees. I don't want anyone to jinx me either, because someone did message me earlier on saying watch out for falling trees.
Eventually, he turned in for the night, tucked into his sleeping bag, with long johns on to keep warm. He mentioned he had seen distant lights from dog walkers earlier in the evening, but his camp was so well hidden he was confident no one could see or reach him. But at around 10 p.m., a loud, explosive noise jolted him awake. It was so intense he couldn't tell whether it was a gunshot or an explosion, only that it was very close and shook him to his core.
So I'm enjoying my first solo camp, really am. I've had a nice fire, sat by the fire, chilled out, had some food, had some drinks. I got a nice little spot. No one can get up here. I've seen a couple of dog walkers tonight with their lights going around. They're about a quarter of a mile maybe down the bottom. They can't see me, which is brilliant. I love it. Love it. This is a right spot. It's probably the best spot that I've found from the public. And there's an abundance of wood here. There's mushrooms everywhere. It's a great spot. And it's on my doorstep, which is great. Right guys, I'm gonna get some rest. If anything happens, I'll let you know. Good night. I just heard like a loud bang. It's either an explosion or it sounded like it was really, really loud. Wow. That's unnerved me. It's really loud. Really loud.
Trying to calm down, he assumed the storm was just starting to roll in. But a few minutes later, after the phone call with his brother, something slammed into his tent from outside, and it wasn't the wind. Whatever it was hit the tent with such force that panic immediately took over. He jumped up and fled into the darkness, stumbling through thick mud, completely disoriented. The storm, now in full swing, made it nearly impossible to see or hear clearly. To make matters worse, he got caught in thick mud and quicksand-like conditions. Trapped and slipping, he struggled to move, all while hearing something, possibly a voice, close by. The river nearby had flooded, and to escape, he was forced to wade through icy water, soaking himself in the process. After several agonizing minutes, he finally found higher ground and caught his breath. The worst part, he was certain he had heard something, or someone, near his tent before he ran.
So even though I'm solo camping, it's quite nice, like quite relaxed. Just had a phone call from my brother now. He's in Chicago, obviously, so it would have been nice. Ah! What the hell was that? What? Go away! I go, obviously, so it would have been nice. Oh, finally. I finally managed to get out. Right. I heard something in that fucking tent. That was the scariest thing, and then I was trying to get out, go down the forest, and I heard something say something again, clear as day, and I got stuck in all the mud. That's the scariest I've ever been. I just had to wade for a freezing cold river. Oh shit. I need to go home, guys. Normally I wouldn't grab my camera and get out of there, but no fucker would believe me. So. See you later.
Whether it was an animal, a person, or something else entirely, he couldn't say. But the fear in his voice, the adrenaline in his breathing, and the sheer desperation to get out of there told everything that needed to be said. This wasn't a planned scare or a joke. This was real fear caught on camera. He admitted it was the most terrified he had ever been during a wild camp. And considering how many solo trips he's done, that says a lot. He managed to escape safely, but what happened that night was truly disturbing. What did you think of this encounter? Like always, let me know your thoughts. This footage takes us deep into the dense and quiet woods of Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia. The video was uploaded by Paranormal Discovery, a channel known for exploring paranormal hotspots and sharing raw, immersive experiences with the unknown. On this night, the creator, accompanied only by his dog, sets up camp near the remains of an old poor farm, an area historically known for housing the destitute and mentally ill. Many people believe this land is still spiritually active. Things start off quiet as he attempts to connect with any lingering spirits using a spirit box. He references a fire that burned down the original structure in 1929 and tries to stir up activity by asking questions and requesting signs. Initially, it's mostly eerie vibes and subtle responses, but the atmosphere quickly changes.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another haunted campout. Currently, we are back at the Salt Marsh Trail. I do have this girl right here. She's gonna be joining me today, but this is kind of a mixture between a good haunting and some Bigfoot stuff. So there is, in fact, a haunting going on. Now, if you guys were to go back a long time ago, I'd say a good 2 years is when we first discovered this spot. There is a very odd feeling to this set of wildlands, and I think it has everything to do with the poor farm. The people are still here. Hey guys, we got our AquaQuest tarp to start off this video. I'm going to be doing a different type of configuration. Now I'm going to make sure to put it up. I don't even know what the configuration's called, but it's kind of like an open fly, but if it rains they'll be protected kind of thing. It's not going to be like the tent or the tents that I've been kind of making. So without further ado, let's just get into that. Yeah, without further ado, let's get the campfire ready, get our equipment ready, and yeah, go camping. Let's go. Love that heat. Anyone from the poor farm here that wants to communicate, let me know.
At various points, the creator mentions feeling surrounded, as if entities were just beyond the light of his fire. Shadows flicker in the darkness, and he claims to see figures darting behind trees. At one point, he reacts strongly to what appears to be a loud, unexplainable sound nearby, causing both him and his dog to visibly panic. There's a moment where his dog seems to sense something, alerting and staring into the dark woods, a telltale sign for any seasoned paranormal investigator that something unseen is likely nearby.
Yo, think she sees something. You good, Key? Like, I feel threatened. I don't think we're dealing with the people from the poor farm. I think I'm legitimately dealing with something a little bit extra. Alright, Key, come on, let's go back this way. Oh my god! Oh shit. Okay, there's some sort of vibe up here. What's that?
I'm touching your back.
Whoa! What the?
Yes, I'm here.
He's looking at me like, are you good? Who am I talking to right now? Did you just scream in the distance? I heard this massive howl.
Joking. She will touch you.
Sorry, baby. I got you, okay? I got you. Honestly, I think she got me. Like, look at this. Like, this has gotta be out of a horror.
Then comes a major turning point. Both he and his dog spot what they believe to be a humanoid figure. Something tall, possibly a Sasquatch. He even references a Bigfoot mapping project report indicating that this area has had previous sightings. As he continues through the forest, he feels as though something is watching or following them. While there's little concrete evidence caught on camera, the sheer unease and erratic behavior of his dog is enough to validate his concerns.
Okay. Oh shit, hear that? Hello? I think I see a Sasquatch. I swear I just saw something move. That was kind of tall. Are you a Sasquatch? I'm Lamar. This is my dog. I am almost guaranteeing you that I just saw something. Or somebody's walking through the trees back there.
Time.
What the fuck? This has got to be the creepiest set of forests
I enjoy the company.
I've actually done in a while. I know this isn't endangered land, but why is it so creepy right here? Like, it's legitimately creepy.
It's not human.
Holy shit. It's not human. If it's not human, then what is it?
Using a spirit box again, he captures unsettling phrases such as, "This is secret," "You will find things below," and even "sacrifice." These messages only add to the mounting tension. At one point, he believes he saw someone near the campfire and rushes back, but no one is there. Still, he's convinced something, or someone, was watching from the shadows.
What the? Yo, someone's at the camp. I swear to God, I just saw a shadow by the camp. What the? Let's go, Key. Hello? Hello? Oh my God. Nobody is at the camp. Key, I know you saw that too, right? It looked like someone was just walking from like where the bonfire is right over. What the shit? Oh my God. This is nuts. Okay. Okay, that's freaking creepy, dude. I thought someone just like walked up, because we were kind of like on a path. If you were to come to the Cole Harbor like area, all the paths kind of lead up, and so like anyone could walk up here. Thing is, no one's here. I just saw someone, like it looked like a normal person came and just was like, oh, there's a camp here. Man, I'm like driving myself crazy, dude. Yeah, I'm losing my mind.
Gregory.
I'm losing my mind.
He concludes the investigation feeling unnerved, yet intrigued. He talks about how paranormal investigations often don't come with loud bangs or full apparitions. Sometimes it's just the overwhelming presence, strange noises, and the feeling that something is wrong, though nothing physically threatens him during the night. The intense atmosphere and possible Sasquatch sighting make this a chilling entry in the series.
Oh my God. I just saw someone stand right there. Right. Son of... Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pack up our stuff and get out of here. We're gonna come back on a different night. I don't know what this feeling is, but whatever is in the forest is attached to it. I think that's what it is. The people that passed away on the property are probably still attached to the property, and they go everywhere. I know we haven't seen much, and like I know to you guys, you probably haven't heard much either, but sometimes with the paranormal, you get just vibes, you get just strong feelings, and you have to be here in person to really understand that, and this is why we're documenting it for you, is to really just give you guys the experience and just give you guys what we're encountering, you know what I mean? Plain and simple, clear and transparent. I just want to be that for you guys, and that's what I'm doing here. So, I mean, if you come to watch the paranormal, man, sometimes you just get vibes.
This encounter stands out for its layered fear, the unknown blending paranormal and cryptid elements into a single immersive experience. The creator promises to return, this time with a psychic medium, to dig even deeper into whatever truly haunts the Cole Harbor woods. What did you make of this footage? Like you always do, let me know. In what was supposed to be a relaxing solo camping trip, the YouTuber behind the channel Junkyard Fox found himself in a life-threatening situation. The following encounter really tells us that it's not always nature that's the real danger. Sometimes it's people. Setting out with no intention other than to unwind, the creator planned a quiet night out in the wilderness. No campfire beers, no party, just solitude under the stars. He recorded snippets of the evening, capturing the calm atmosphere as he admired the clouds and the stillness of the desert. With his shelter set up, dinner eaten, and temperatures dropping into the comfortable 60s, it seemed like a peaceful night ahead. But just a few hours into his sleep, everything changed.
Okay, folks, so here is my camp. As you can tell, there's been a lot of winds. That's something a lot of people don't realize, but out in the open desert, I mean, we get some 30-mile-an-hour winds sometimes. And, of course, you know, the shelter is going to need to constantly be updated and, you know, renovated, right? Like any home. Yeah, luckily, at first when I got here, I was sweating buckets. But look, check it out. It's starting to get nice and gloomy, so we may see a little bit of rain later. That'd be nice. Well, some storm clouds all around me. Now it's time to relax. Look at this beautiful sunset. Lighting's getting bad now. Yeah, but yeah, it's so beautiful. So I'm gonna enjoy the fire a little bit. I did make a fire. I don't need a fire, to be honest, but it just helps a little bit with illumination and relaxation. And yeah. Okay, folks, so it's time to call it a night. Like I said, today, I'm not really hanging out in terms of, having some beers around the fire or nothing like that. It's more of a test of, being out here and stuff. And that's about it. So have a good night, everyone.
At around midnight, the sound of a vehicle jolted him awake. The truck wasn't just passing through, it stopped nearby. Then, in a moment of pure chaos, gunshots rang out. Someone had opened fire on his parked truck. Not just one shot, multiple windows were hit. From the safety of his shelter, he could hear music blaring from the shooter's vehicle before they sped off into the night. Disoriented and half asleep, he rushed to check the damage.
Okay, folks, so change of plans. I was asleep for 2 hours, then I woke up to a truck driving nearby, and they shot my truck. They legitimately shot the windows on my truck. People I don't know. This is crazy. Look, these are my windows. This is insane. Once again, I have no clue who these people are. They're just drunks. I could hear loud music, that's what woke me up. And sure enough, so I'm guessing this trip is over. Oh man, what a mess.
Shards of glass littered his gear, including blankets and sleeping bags he had brought for an upcoming Arizona trip. The entire side of his vehicle was damaged, and although he wasn't physically harmed, the experience left him shaken. He cut the trip short and drove straight to report the incident to the local police. Unfortunately, without a clear description of the vehicle or its occupants, there wasn't much they could do. With only moonlight to see by and no identifying details, the attackers were gone without a trace. In a later reflection, the YouTuber made it clear he had no prior issues or conflicts. He wasn't involved in any local disputes, gang activity, or anything of the sort. It appeared to be completely random, just a reckless act by a group of intoxicated people with guns.
So my evening turned out to be very different from what I was expecting, as you can imagine. I drove home. I did stop on the way back. I did stop to speak to Horizon Police Department. Unfortunately, I did not have a description of the vehicle. I mean, keep in mind, guys, I'm half asleep. It was like the only light was moonlight at the time. So they took off by the time I got to my vehicle. But, man, I cannot believe it. I don't even know these people, you know? I'm not involved in any gang activity or anything like that, so... What a mess, man. Boy, that's a bummer. So, here's my windows. Here's my truck right now. Man, that sucks. Just completely random. I don't know these people. I'm just sleeping in my little shelter, minding my own business. And look at that. And I didn't even get to bring down all this stuff that was meant for the Arizona trip that we didn't get to really do. Now all this glass is on our wool blankets, our sleeping bags. Man, that sucks. Just completely random, just drunken douchebags. I mean, I suppose I should be grateful they didn't shoot the tires or the engine. And we have 3 good windows here, because I know this thing's going to cost me a pretty penny.
But the real weight of the situation didn't hit until he got home. Exhausted and emotionally drained, he tried to process what happened. This wasn't the first problem with his truck in recent weeks. Someone had attempted to break into it just days prior. That, combined with $600 in recent repairs and now a massive bill for the windows, was more than just bad luck. Still, he remained level-headed. He acknowledged how fortunate he was that the situation wasn't worse. Had he been inside the vehicle during the shooting, the outcome could have been fatal. He even admitted that while he had a pistol with him, it wouldn't have helped against multiple armed people in a moving truck. The best thing he did was stay hidden and wait it out. This isn't the first time he's dealt with irresponsible gun owners during his trips in the Texas desert. He mentioned how, despite concerns people usually have about wild animals, mountain lions, snakes, or coyotes, it's always people that pose the biggest risk. Drunk individuals firing into the night with no regard for anyone else's safety are far more unpredictable and dangerous than any wildlife he's encountered.
Well, that was an unforeseen turn of events. Man, and it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder, people that don't know about the wilderness, you know, and they see me making a shelter out there and staying out there, you know, for several days, they always ask me, you know, you're not scared of rattlesnakes, you're not scared of you know, mountain lions or wild pigs or you know, any of that stuff. And honestly, I've never had an issue where, you know, these animals were a threat. Coyotes, nothing like that. It's always people. It's always douchebag people just ruining it for everybody else. Even my neighbor who has surveillance cameras, we caught the person like on footage. You know, we didn't catch him at the time. I didn't realize till later that, you know, someone was trying to steal it. But I mean, to that, you know, and then now once again, you know, it was just a random act. You know, how crappy. Well, once again, I guess the important part is that I'm in one piece. I'm fine. But, you know, just a good reminder. People are garbage, you know, and, you know, there are bigger things than broken windows. There are bigger things to worry about than, you know, something. Yeah, is it going to be costly? Yeah, but you know what? Better than me, you know.
The event also hit him financially, with unexpected truck repairs, the cost of a failed Arizona trip, and now an additional $800 needed to fix the new damage. He admitted things were tight. While he wasn't broke, the constant string of expenses made it difficult to keep filming and producing content as often as he'd like. He planned to work extra shifts at his day job to cover the losses, and he even posted a PayPal link for anyone willing to help. Despite everything, he stayed hopeful and appreciative. He expressed gratitude that he made it out unharmed, and vowed not to let the incident scare him away from doing what he loves, spending time in nature, capturing it on camera, and sharing it with the world. Because sometimes the biggest danger when camping isn't what's lurking in the shadows of the woods. It's what's driving down the road.
Sadly, you know, this is a reminder of how crappy people can be, how crappy the world can be. But, you know, I'm not going to let that dissuade me from still getting out there in nature and camping on my own and, you know, making the best of it. So, hope you're all safe out there, guys. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate all the love.
With this final encounter, I'll take your leave. You know what to do, but if you don't, let me remind you again to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment about what you liked and didn't like about this video. We want to improve our video quality so you get the best videos possible. In about 3 seconds, there will be more disturbing videos on screen for you to watch. And with that, I'm out.